and welcome to a new series I'm doing called Dorian Finds New Albums, I guess. I tried to do this on my blog. I did this for about two albums, and then I got overwhelmed. So I'm not gonna do this on a schedule anymore, and I'm gonna do it in YouTube videos when I want to. So this week we're talking about an album, and you cannot really see it because my screen is too small, but it's an album from 2022 by a band called As It Is. It's called I Went to Hell and Back. I feel the need to introduce myself a little bit. My name is Dorian. I've been in emo for not that long, honestly. I'm 24 and I started to get interested in emo and emo music when I was 15, 16 years old. So it's been 9 years, roughly. Do with that information as you will. I've seen a lot of things, but I'm also missed most of the hype, right? I wasn't a teenager in 2003, because I was 2, right? But I am, and have been, involved in emo. I'm currently way more broadly interested in music. One of my favorite bands now is Ghost, for instance. But My Chemical Romance is still very dear and dear to my heart. So there are a lot of fucking albums that I really fucking love. But anyway, that's a little bit about me. So now you understand where this is coming from. Let's get into it. Now, I knew about the band As It Is from a friend of mine back in 2018 when they released The Great Depression. I listened to that album. I loved that album. Was a great fan, right? So there is a reason that I've been sitting on this album for, 4 years. And that is that I saw some of the first singles that were released and I was like, I don't know about this one, fam. I don't really remember what songs I saw at the time because I looked up which ones were singles, but honestly, a lot of the titles are very similar. So now looking through the album, songs like I Die 1,000 Times or I Hate Me Too, it's being a 20-year-old, I was very concerned about proving that I was an adult, and song titles like that kind of scared me, specifically because it felt a little juvenile, a little bit of that teenage level of angst that I was a little bit uncomfortable with indulging in, frankly, because I was I literally just escaped this. So now that I'm 4 years older, I'm 24, turning 25 this year, I still didn't really like the songs. I'll be really there are some good elements in it. Some of the music is really nice, but the lyrics just, it is written for an audience that is definitely younger than me, and I'm okay with that, right? I'm okay with albums not be made for me specifically. It's just that I wonder how much is this actually adding to to the repertoire that already exists, because songs that are about how much you hate yourself and hate the world and hate the things that are going on in the world, and how much you think that you don't deserve to be alive. This has been done before. I mean, I Miss 2003. I think it's nice. I like the influences of more the trap influences and other emo rap. I like that. I think it's cool. I also think it's cool to experiment with that kind of thing. I don't know though. I don't know about this one. This album actually has a Wikipedia page, and a lot of them were the reception was kind of positive, but one of the last ones that was mentioned was a review of somebody who was yeah, it's a little bit, I am 14 and this is deep. And this is how I kind of feel about it too. I felt kind of sad that the band had not matured with me, in that when I was 17, the Great Depression really hit for me. But that's because I was 17. And I had hoped that in the years and with COVID, and I was really looking for something that was a little bit more self-reflective, I think is the word that I'm looking for. And I understand that anger is important, and I'm not saying it's not, but I find anger expressed as like self-deprecation and self-hatred just so teenager coded that the way that this album didn't land for me was very much like, yeah, this sounds like me when I was 16. Now, that does not mean it's a bad album, right? There are some elements of this album that are really good. There's some elements of this album that I think are might be important for some other people to hear. I just don't think it's for me. I'll be real, and I also just don't think that As It Is as a band is something that really speaks to me as somebody who is not that into most emo anymore. Like, yeah, sure, I like emo, obviously. I still like a lot of the things that are to do with emo, a lot of things that are sort of adjacent, but I really moved my focus away from pop punk. And as much as this album does lean into post-hardcore elements sometimes, and I really, really do appreciate when they do it well, um, it's just a little bit too I hate my life for me, and like there's so much like it feels a little bit like nostalgia farming in some ways, where I'm like I understand that there's some new stuff borrowing it, and I know that in an interview that they did describe how like in 2022 there was this like huge boom of more interest into the emo scene as it used to be, but it feels like as much as it's sort of not just nostalgia farming, it's just derivative. It's a little derivative. That's really how I feel about it. I feel that there are bands that do this stuff but better, and I also think that there's music in the genre that is way more interesting and even more interesting in its self-loathing, right? Like an album like I always have to mention this, but an album like Three Cheers for Sweet Revenge by My Chemical Romance is enormously self-loathing, but the way that he does it is way more interesting to listen to. It's way more like poetic and makes you think about things. It is like there's a puzzle there, there is a element of storytelling, and I kind of miss that here. I think that the lyrics are very direct, and for some people that might be what they need and want to hear. Again, this might be an album for someone else, but it is interesting to listen to for me as somebody who isn't 17 anymore. No, not really. I feel bad to say that because these people are so enthusiastic about their craft. And they have a new album coming out as well in July. They're so enthusiastic about their craft. They're so interested in music. And I really wish that this album could work for me, but it just doesn't. And man, I feel sad about that. But maybe it's for you. Maybe it is for you. Maybe you're like really into the sort of nostalgia that like 2003 brings. Again, I was 2 in 2003, so I don't remember that time. And maybe you're really into just needing someone else to also voice their self-hatred to sort of work through that. If that is something that you need, that's good. But for me, it just lands on angsty. And I don't really have a place for that in my life anymore. So yeah. Maybe this will be fun for like any 15-year-olds watching this. Then this might be the album for you. Um, but not for me. Anyway, this has been like a short thing. I'll probably write like a more in-depth review about this on my blog at some point. If that is been uploaded, then I'll put it in the description. But for now, this is all I'll say on this album. It's been 4 years since this album has been released, so most people will have heard it if they are interested in it at all. Leave your comments if you want. Yeah. Goodbye.